Hey, what is up? Scott Chase here hosting another Radio Ranch cast. Thank you for tuning in and checking us out today. We appreciate it as always. What a pleasure to have you here. We got a real special guest today. I guess first bring in my cohort, Kelly McCoy, who we've been together forever and ever and ever, and Dodger. And how y'all been? What's been going on in your crazy world, huh?
Well, welcoming you back from getting Tanner moved.
And we did that. That moving. I'm glad I don't do that all the time. We're still not done with it. That's work, buddy.
So 2 men in a truck don't have to look for your resume anytime soon, right?
I'm good. I'm good not doing that, man. The load, the moving, the shifting, the packing, the lifting, the cleaning. We're all together, and we're all like on each other's last nerve. But everybody was pretty chilled out. We had Mason went with Adrian, his friend, and then Kelly. You were not there this time, but next time we'll make sure to include you. But Tanner was there, and he had another buddy, Brandon, who was there, who's just a solid, good, great dude. That's a server at Stir, and then Julie was there. So we all worked together, and we all got along pretty well. It was nice. It was nice. But yeah, Tanner is not completely moved in, but almost, and getting ready to start his new position up there, Jasper Highlands, at top of the rock. So it'll be good. Good times. Good times. And so that's what's going on back here. And so we wanted to get our buddy Jason on and talk to him, because we've not seen Jason. I've had so many people that have bought tickets or won tickets or acquired tickets from Black Jacket Symphony, and they're like, what about these? Do I hang on to them? Because we know it's a party. We know everybody wants to go. We get together. We enjoy a classic album, start to finish, just like you dropped the needle on the record. Well, don't let me talk about it. Let's bring Jason on here. Let him tell us. He's the expert.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
How you
Scott,
doing,
it sounds like we're going to need you next time we play in Chattanooga to come help us pack the truck and load up. You want to join the road crew? It's pretty much what we do, night in, night out.
You do, man. You can have that part. But I do like hanging out with you, man, and enjoying great. We have just a wonderful group of people that play with Black Jacket Symphony. For those that haven't had it, we've tried to tell the story of Black Jacket Symphony, what you guys do, how it got rolling, and just kind of give them the backstage view, how it all has come together and what Black Jacket Symphony is all about, Jason.
Yeah, for sure. So we started now almost 11 years ago in 2000. Well, hold on, doing the math here. No, it's been over 11 years, almost 12 years, whatever. We started in 2009 and recreate classic albums, note for note, sound for sound. So whatever the album is, we bring it to life on stage. Huge lighting show, huge video show. We've been fortunate over the years to kind of be able to grow that as we have grown and gotten older. I'd like to think we've gotten better with age, but we have a ball. We do the album note for note, sound for sound, then take a short break and come back and do a full set of that evening's greatest hits. And it's one of those things. Every single night that we did a show, I was so incredibly thankful for the opportunity, as was the band and everybody else. But man, thinking back on all of our pre-show conversations, every night I always say to everybody, hey, don't take this for granted, because you never know when it could be our last show, or not have as many people show up, or whatever it is. Never in a million years did I think that we would be grounded for as long as we have. And we really, I personally, and I know I speak for everybody who plays with us, so misses the opportunity to be on stage and performing and bringing people a night of entertainment and taking them away for their worries for a couple of hours. And boy, there are a lot of worries right now.
Yeah, no doubt. When Kelly and I first heard about you, we were just kicking around. We didn't comprehend. We didn't understand. And our KZ listenership in Chattanooga really didn't have a grasp as to what you guys were all about. But boy, as time has gone on, everybody knows exactly what you're about now. And they know if they go to one of the shows with Black Jacket Symphony and KZ 106, they are going to be blown away by the level of professionalism. I mean, you really have some great players.
Well, you're incredibly sweet and kind, Scott. It's we couldn't have done it without you guys, to be honest. And it's been so wonderful for y'all to introduce us to people in other markets as well. I think it's really been awesome. And one of the most fun things for me is walking around the venue before the show, actually with you, and seeing so many people come up to you and talk to you and say, "Oh, you're Scott Chase. I've been listening to you since however long." And those numbers vary. And I was pretty surprised the first time. I was like, "Wait, how old are you, Scott?"
There's a reason we had you on here, Jason. And man, we upgrade people too. Sometimes we'll give people that are way up, give them tickets really way down close, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, really? Yeah, come on, let's go." Kelly, what's your favorite of all the albums that Black Jacket's done over the years here in Chattanooga, Tennessee? Is there one that sticks out as your favorite?
I'm a huge Zeppelin fan, so I'm kind of leaning towards 4.
Yeah.
That would maybe be it. Although the Eagles were incredible, and quite frankly, the Tom Petty was just absolutely, especially the timing of that one, because it was shortly after he had passed, and it was just an incredible night to just sit there and relive all those songs all over again. So those would be my top 3. But I mean, there's not a bad show.
Nah, it's hard for me to pick one. Although, man, the Queen.
Queen.
So when we did that last Queen run, and the success of the movie was kind of happening. We had already booked the tour, and we really got very lucky that it just kind of the stars aligned in early 2019 for us. And when we finished that run, I was like, okay, well, this has been great. We're never going to get to do this again, because this guy's, Mark Martel, is just going to go on and do so many things. And an interesting facet of COVID has been that his stuff has been canceled, and we've had an opportunity to do a handful of shows with him. We've done one already. We have another one scheduled outdoors in Pennsylvania in September. And I mean, if you guys want to go on a road trip, Sunday, Pennsylvania on Saturday, the 19th of September, because I mean, it is just, I get chills every time I become such a fan.
Yeah.
How hard is it, Jason? I mean, you talked about Mark and just his incredible ability to sound so much like Freddie, and people that found him on YouTube when he was really just starting off, always been impressed by him. I saw him early when those clips came across, but for a band like Queen, it's got to be even harder. Scott and I and Kelly were talking about this a few weeks ago. How do you match Freddie's vocals on so many different tracks when he went from a rock singer to an opera singer to a blues singer to a pop singer? It's got to be challenging to match those styles.
Well, I think Mark is an incredible musician, independent of his ability to sound like Freddie Mercury, right? So he has a really incredible ear, really talented player as well. Great on the piano, good guitar player. He plays the drums. He really is the full package. What's interesting is that he just happens to sound like Freddie Mercury, right? So we obviously came into it, after having seen him do "Somebody to Love" online, and I went and saw him at a small venue in Birmingham. He was out with his own, under his own name, doing a show, and he starts the show with an operatic solo, and I mean, I'm like, whoa, this guy sounds like Freddie Mercury doing opera. Like, I mean, and obviously Freddie did that on a number of songs, but it was mind blowing. So we got to know him a lot more, Mark, a lot more. And he really is, he's a student, and he goes in and does the work. Right. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what's incredible about him, but also about everybody that plays with us is it does take a lot of work. And not only are all of the musicians independently talented as it relates to their instrument, but they're talented in terms of their devotion to it and their work ethic. If it were easy, everyone would be doing it. And they're great. So, but specifically on Mark, he really worked hard to nail that. I mean, when we were touring with him, he would start singing a few other bands, and we were like, where could we go with this? And so I asked him one day, I was like, all right, well, would you like to do, what Journey, I think, was that day? And he was like, man, I spent 5 years nailing Freddie Mercury and like really doing the homework and getting it. He was like, I don't know that I have it in me to do it. And by the way, nor does he need to do it because he's so busy as it is with the Queen stuff. So
he's a very genuine guy too. Just meeting him backstage. I mean, I didn't know what to expect, but man, he's so real and so genuine.
Yeah, he really is. Man, remember when the first video was out? When he was, when it popped out, it was all over social media. Everyone's like, man, and you'd be in a crowd, you'd be at a happy hour, you'd be hanging around, you go, man, have you seen that guy that does the Freddie Mercury Queen stuff? He's really good. He is really good, really good. So tell some of the other members.
First, I'm going to just tell you a real quick little story because I think it's funny and it brings in somebody that plays one of our other shows or a number of other shows. But we were on the bus after our first show with Mark, and we had played in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and we were headed to Charleston, South Carolina. This is, I think, 2016 or 17. And we're all just kind of like in awe of this guy who just completely nailed this performance and sounds just like Freddie Mercury. And we're all kind of like looking at each other. All right, yeah. And we had a couple of drinks, and Brian Gibson. So Brian Gibson, who plays, he plays on a number of them, Zeppelin. Just all he is a virtuoso in that same realm as Mark in terms of his talents and whatnot. But Brian Gibson looks at Mark and goes, "Man, I mean, if I could do that, I'd just go into Starbucks and be like, I want a double macchiato." Yeah, no.
That's good.
Hey,
that's typical Brian too.
Mark Martel did went in the movie. If it wasn't Freddie Mercury's vocals, it was Mark Martel's vocals, and that's pretty wild, man. That was a great movie. What a great movie! But a bunch of other albums that you guys have done too. And we also want to talk about the postponement of this show and where Chattanooga is and where our mayor is about gatherings and about things going on. So the date that was up and coming now has been postponed until 2021.
That's right. Yeah, we've moved it to February the 6th, 2021. So all tickets are still good for that date. And I think it's just, it's a combination of local authorities, but also, look, we're well aware of our audience and well aware of, some of the challenges that our audience faces in terms of demographics. And so we want to make sure that we're doing our job and being safe and good stewards of humanity, really. To make sure that we're not putting anybody in a position of one, feeling uncomfortable, but two, being in an unsafe environment. So
right. And if you had to go every third or fourth seat, my gosh, there wouldn't be not enough people to be able to go.
No, and it wouldn't be enjoyable either. I mean, it'd just be a bizarre kind of experience, I think.
So if you want a ticket, if you purchase a ticket, hang on to the ticket. We're gonna get this show done one day.
The Wall will be coming to Chattanooga, and man, when we get up on that stage and actually get to literally tear it down, it's gonna be pretty fun. So
the players in the band, do they do other things? I mean, some of those people are they do have other positions, or do they all just professional musicians and travel with you guys? I mean,
they're all professional musicians, but yes, they do other things. So a number of them are teachers. Which is, presenting its own unique scenarios for the fall. We have a couple of college professors and some guys who teach lessons, a lot of guitar lessons or general music lessons. So, we have a couple of IT guys. So everybody's been staying busy, kind of doing their own thing. But I mean, look, the truth is that this is a really painful time. For the entire concert industry and musicians, promoters, venues, lighting and audio vendors. Everybody's feeling this in in a really big way. And I'm not sure if you guys have seen it or not, but there's an act out called the Save Our Stages Act that is aimed at helping independent venues, right? I mean, our last show, we shut down March the 14th, and we'll be probably one of the last businesses to be able to reopen in a safe way. So this legislation kind of helps our entire industry, all of the independent bands, promoters, and venues, which is very important.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I was going to bring that up as well, that you guys are a part of this. And we were talking just a little bit before about the difficulty for bands, venues, everyone involved, because obviously the revenue has stopped for the most part. And so to be able to have some sort of support from another place, whether it's legislation or whether it's donations, I know the Tivoli's doing much the same with that as well. So I'm glad to see you guys certainly helping to push that out there and pushing that message. I think that's something everybody that loves live music should know about and be able to be a part of.
Yeah, saveourstages.com. It's super interesting when you really start to think about it. I mean, we obviously know it in depth, right, in terms of the economics of how shows work. But what a lot of people don't realize is that, from the minute we, leave home or the office or whatever and go out on the road, there are, on any given day, there's a couple of dozen or a few dozen people who are employed, right? We have the band, we have the crew, we have the bus driver, but then locally we have an entire crew that shows up. They're, in the venue before anybody else, and then they come back and help us break down. Scott, we'll see you for that one. We'll come back on the 6th. Yeah. Then you have all the ushers, you have the bartenders at the venue, you have the ticket takers, you have the venue management, you have, there's so many different aspects of it. You guys, right? Y'all advertise. There's economics involved in that. It's it really is staggering how impactful the music industry is and the live event industry is as a catalyst for so many things, and so much economic kind of force behind it. And so I think that then when you really start looking at it, when you look at it from a macro or a micro level, you can really start to understand how important it is that these institutions, these venues are still there when this ends. Because if they're not, it's going to be a much greater issue with a really big ripple effect. And we're trying to do whatever we can to help address that. So
I bet your guys like playing the Tivoli.
Oh my God. Are you kidding me? They love it.
Isn't that a great venue?
Yes, it's such a gorgeous place. I mean, that's the other thing we miss so much is getting to be in these incredible venues. But you know what? There are moments like today, as we were kind of announcing these due dates, I really could visualize being on that stage, spotlight coming down, and looking out and seeing people in the crowd. You can't really see up in the balcony that well because of the spotlight, but seeing everybody and just doing those intermission announcements and welcoming everybody back. I mean, I am just so excited for that day to get here.
Yeah, no doubt.
We are too.
Yeah. Hey, you got your chops, man. You've done a lot of cool stuff. Tell us some of the stuff that you've done, but even prior to Black Jacket Symphony. I mean, you were out with who and what did you done? You done a little bit of everything. You do a little bit of everything now. Still,
I've had a lot of fun. I worked for a larger management company out of Los Angeles, and so some of the people I got to work with were Lenny Kravitz and John Legend, Portugal the Man. Chris Cornell and Soundgarden. Got to do some fun archival stuff with the Counting Crows. So yeah, I've been really lucky.
So you guys have dug into a lot of classic rock albums. Obviously you just mentioned a number of people that are outside of the classic rock realm that you've worked with. So where do your influences come from when you're building all these albums, and who are you reaching out to help build the shows? Kind of go into a little bit about how you put together what you guys do on stage.
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, we have some decent kind of standards, I would say, in terms of, whether or not we'll do a record, right? It has to be a real album, all the way through, as opposed to just a couple songs here and there. It has to have certain commercial appeal, obviously, right? So that people will actually come. I mean, the number of albums I think that we get requested, they're great albums. We're just kind of like, well, you might be the only person in the audience for that one. It's pretty funny to see those. And then, but yeah, so we got to make sure that we can do it, right? So that's the other thing. Like, for a long time, we talked about Queen earlier. We really wanted to do Queen. We're like, well, that'll never happen. And then all of a sudden, Mark Martel. So there's a few of those. But once we decide on the album, we obviously put together the personnel, and vocalist is super important. We have a really great kind of stable of incredible guitar players. Our drummer, Mark Lanner, can play absolutely anything. I mean, he talk about somebody who's amazing. And when we first started, we would go the first few times we played Chattanooga, we would come up there, we'd play Chattanooga, and then he would drive back to Birmingham after the show to go play another set starting at 1 a.m. to 4 a.m. I mean, he's just, because he loves it so much. And he's a college professor. So like it's just, I don't know how that guy does it. But anyway, so we get everybody together, and we kind of divvy up, and we have so we have our guitar players, and one person takes lead in terms of doing all of the guitar assignments and making sure everything is covered. We have one person who will typically take over the vocals and make sure that all the harmonies are properly covered. And then we have our bass player who just, he plays bass. No, I'm kidding. He's wonderful. Our bass players get a bad rep. He's fantastic, and really always is hitting me up asking me to play guitar, and he's an incredible guitar player too. So, but so we work really hard on nailing the album, right? I mean, the guys spend a couple of months on their own going through it and really practicing and doing their homework. Just like anything in life that you're successful at, it takes a lot of work and a lot of preparation. So they do that, and then they come in. We all get together for a few nights, go through, do rehearsals, and then we show up in Chattanooga and play a show.
Nail it. Your guys are so approachable. They're so nice. What we haven't done much of, that we need to do more of, we need to give us more backstage meet and greets, where we give an opportunity to some of our KZ listeners to actually come back and be part of the backstage area and meet some of your guys. Your drummer in particular, Chip Arnold, who's a teacher at Macaulay School, brought some of his folks over because they had a really cool thing where they went different places and just looked in Nashville at different recording studios. And they went to Muscle Shoals one time, and they wanted to see what it was like at backstage at Black Jacket Symphony. His son was a drummer, and he talked to your drummer, and it was like, man, he was totally focused and tuned into this guy, and he will never forget it because he just has this incredible background and level of knowledge. And he's just told such a great story, man. You really have, besides being very high standard of professionalism, they're just really, really good guys. I mean, we've all been around some backstage meet and greets sometimes, and you always wish sometimes they're not as nice as you would hope they might be. Your guys are hard.
Jethro Tull.
Can we go into that a little deeper?
I'm sorry.
Well, we
all got some bad.
We've been really lucky, and I think that when you go on tour, we've been fortunate to be in a position now where there's a lot of people who would love to play with us, and we're very thankful for that. Just as important as it is to be great at your instrument and your skill, you also have to be really personable and have to have 11 other people want to hang out with you, because we're on a bus. Sleeps 12 people, and it's tight quarters, and you got to be a good hang. So
you guys, parent company, man, does so much. I mean, they do so much. Live Nation does concerts across America, and there's just not much going on in that business right now. That's got to be really troublesome for them right now.
Yeah, we do a lot of shows with Live Nation. It's I really don't know how they're doing what they're doing. I mean, it's talking about going to next to no revenue. It's pretty insane. So, I think that Michael Rapino, who's the CEO, obviously knows what he's doing and has smart people in his corner. So hopefully they'll continue to make good decisions and work their way through this. So
what have you been doing in your downtime at the house, man? You're not been out and about shaking your hands and
dude, I'm going crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I am like, I've gone on a lot of walks. I've ridden my bicycle. I'm like, oh, okay. Listened to a lot of music, watched a lot of, I've caught up on everything I've missed for the last, 10 years. I'm like itching to get back on the road. I mean, we are just, but we're also trying to kind of, take this time and when else. And you don't always have an opportunity, at this stage of the game to kind of step back and better yourself without having to be going nonstop. So, I think that's what trying to do, trying to get better at some things. We're working a lot on our video, trying to improve that. So we have one guy who I'm gonna kind of dote on him for a minute. He's a Chattanooga native, Gable Larimore. So Gable does all of our lighting, and Gable is if there are 6 guys or 7 guys on stage for a show, he is the 8th member of the band. He, just adds so much value and so much artistic expression to every single show, right? That you look up and you see all of these guys, and one, because he's turning on the lights, but you see them and you have the immediate appreciation for, wow, what a great guitar player, wow, what a great singer. And a lot of people overlook the fact that what he's doing is in and of itself an art form. And so he again, from Chattanooga, is just so wonderful. So he has been, and he's full time with us. He has been spending a lot of time really perfecting and improving upon all of the shows. So I think we'll come out of this. You'll see some positive differences in the show. You'll hopefully see. Hopefully you'll notice some good changes.
Let's name the albums, Kelly, that they've done here, and then tell us some others that you haven't done here that you guys do that we could be thinking about in the future. So the first out of the box was Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon, right? And then
it was
Zeppelin 4 early on. Did Eagles, Hotel California. You did
Fleetwood Mac.
Fleetwood Mac, Rumors. Did the Tom Petty.
You did Kelly's favorite, the Beatles.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Steely Dan for a second.
Did you do two Beatles albums? So you did Sgt. Pepper, and you also did the White Album here, right? Didn't you? Abbey Road.
Abbey Road. Yeah.
Abbey Road.
We did the White Album there.
Yeah, that was a double bill with the Who, right? The
Abbey Road with the Who. Yeah. Who's next?
Did you get Journey in town?
Yeah.
AC/DC.
Man, I partied that night. I had a time. Man, I had so much fun at the AC. I know you don't like people to get out of their. I was out of my seat, man, and created.
We love it when people get out of their seats. Come on, are you kidding me?
I love it. I was right down there, man, just knocking it. Man, it was good. That was so good. All right, so
we did Appetite for Destruction.
Oh yeah, Guns N' Roses.
And
we did Thriller.
That's right. You did Thriller.
We weren't going to mention that, but you also did,
Prince. You did Prince?
Prince, yeah.
You did Prince too.
Yeah.
That's it, isn't it? Is there anything else we missed?
So other ones that we've done, I can't recall if we did them there off the top of my head, was so we've done Bruce Springsteen, Born to Run, which that one's just so much fun. I mean, the guy just nails it. I know we didn't do this one there because we've only done it once. We did the Joshua Tree. Let's see, what else have we done?
Pearl Jam? Do you do Pearl Jam?
Yeah, so we do we've done a double header of Pearl Jam and Nirvana. So we do 10 and then Nevermind, and then come back and do kind of a hybrid of greatest hits. And that's one that we would really love to come up and do. We'd love, at least on the Pearl Jam side of things.
Yeah. What about Boston?
Haven't done Boston yet.
Boston would be good. I mean, my gosh, a couple of their albums, every song, every song on the album.
Yeah, it's on the list.
There's a lot out there.
Yeah,
like a request for Van Halen too.
Yes, Van Halen.
Would you do Dave or Sammy though? Come on now.
Yeah, that do 2 albums. Do one night, do 2 albums. One with a David Lee Roth and Sammy. Man, there's a little something you guys can work. We give you things to work on.
There's your homework.
Yeah. Perfect. Thank you. We have some fun stuff in the works. I mean, I think we'll want to we've done the Police, Synchronicity, and that is just a really fun show. So I think that, that'll probably happen. I don't know when. I mean, initially it was going to have happened, I think, in 2021, but we'll see. I think Full Moon Fever would be one that we want to do at some point.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
So
we almost got The Wall, man. The Wall.
Yeah, it's going to be so good. I mean, that's the thing. Like, that show is, it's going to be really incredible. It's an exercise of patience on our part and on the part of our fans. We just really appreciate everybody kind of hanging tight and chilling with us. It's going to be worth it. So
yeah, it's good. Hey, so before we get away, we'll wind up. Everybody's got stuff to do, I guess. I got to go weed the garden or something. Probably wash the dishes, vacuum the floor.
Yeah, move some boxes
and rock and roll on a road show. What was I going to ask you? But now I can't remember what it was.
Yes, you can join the road crew when we come back to Chattanooga. Sure.
You are just such a solid guy, man. You're good people. You're good people, Jason. We really genuinely appreciate our relationship and our partnership with Black Jacket Symphony. And thanks for the T-shirt, by the way, too.
Hey, thank you for the Old 41 barbecue sauce. Let's get that, man. Too. That stuff's good.
And you always have some of that Bird Dog bourbon, which also, by the way, is good.
Oh,
it's almost 5. We'll count it.
Yeah, close enough. Kelly, we missed anything?
Other than seeing his face, that's why I'm so glad we get to do this, because even if we can't all be together, this is a decent substitute until we can get all together. And so hopefully February the 6th we'll be able to do that.
Yeah.
Dodger, the thing Jason's missing is the fact that you've got the guitar behind you. You were going to try out for the band.
Oh man, the one right back there.
Yeah.
Excuse, bigger name on the other line. Gotta go.
Yeah. Speaking of doing my homework, I'll probably have to do that. I better get off here and do that. Well, y'all have a great afternoon. Another Radio Razzcast in the history books. We'll have to have you back on again. In fact, we'll have you back on again when we get a little bit closer to the showtime. How about that?
Y'all, thank you so much. I really sincerely miss you guys. It's it'll be quite a wonderful kind of reunion when we get back together again. So thank y'all very much.
All right, hang on to your tickets and have a
February 6th.
February 6th it is. See you then. All right, buddy. Thanks, Jason, Black Jacket Symphony. Y'all have a good one. See you.
Thank you.